We're going to do this. All right, we're live. We're going to get the podcast going in just a second. I need to get everything in line. Let me get a little juice on that nose there. Let me get everything in line, and then we'll get the podcast going. America's podcast. I want to share my feed, my social media, and then we'll get rolling. Spaz'n out. America's podcast. That is shared. Hang tight. We're gonna start in a second. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna get all fired up, baby. I know, man. My Yo Gabba Gabba shirt been missing. I think one of you bastards stole it. I miss my Yo Gabba Gabba shirt. It's garbage, man. I think my wife got sick of it and she took it and she stole it. All right, give me a sec. We're gonna get rolling. I gotta bring up the podcast stuff, and then we'll get cranking. Hold on. Again, we're not doing Twitter tonight because I don't have the other iPad. My daughter has it. So I feel bad for the Twitter peeps. We were doing pretty good on the twits, although they were bouncing me off a lot. All right, let's do it. Another rum night. Rum. We're drinking Mount Gay rum tonight. But let's just get into it. Let's get it started, okay? Here. Thank you so much for joining another relaxing podcast, another America's podcast, laid back podcast. Why? Because my wife and kids are gone. Every man in America that has a wife and has kids can appreciate what I'm talking about, can appreciate the fact that the kids are not here, that the wife is not here, and it's relaxing. When you get home, you don't have to instantly take out the garbage. When you get home, you don't have to instantly start cleaning. When you get home, you don't have to do the dishes. You don't have to do anything. As a matter of fact, the pizza box from last night's frozen pizza is still on the table. It's still there. It's probably going to sit there for the next 3 days. Well, I guess we only have a few more days left. But it's going to sit there. There's no rush to remove it. There's no angst. There's no pressure. Relaxation. But honestly, I do have some stuff that I have to get into that I'm actually pretty fired up about. So last night's podcast was a little bit laid back, but tonight we're going to get right back into being pissed off, I guess, because that's my thing. I'm always upset about something, and the NBA has me beyond bullshit. I'm pissed with the NBA right now. It's garbage, and we're going to talk about it. But first, and we have some other news that's just absolutely devastating. But first, subscribe to my podcast. America's podcast, Spazzing Out, America's podcast. It's your podcast. What we do on this podcast is we defend everything America. When you shit on America, we come after you. When you try to talk about taking our rights away, we come after you. We out you. We let everybody know about it because we love this country. Also, it's about the working class guy, about you, the working class dude, because I know everything you're going through. Because I go through it, which is why I know when your wife and kids are gone, you feel good. You're like, oh, man, I'm going to have a couple of bevies. I'm going to drink some rum, and I'm going to have a good time. So this podcast is 150,000% for you guys because I think I relate with you guys. So much so that I work, man. Today, you know what I did today? 4,000 pounds. I lifted 4,000 pounds. I loaded 2 truckloads of debris today myself. I dumped both of the trucks. The first truck was a ton and a half. The second truck was a ton. So it's more than 4,000 pounds. Did it all myself, bro. Beast. Making the money, banging it out, doing it myself. And I know you guys work just as hard. But I want to talk about a couple of things. Oh, listen, we're on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, follow me and share the feed. If you're on YouTube, sub to my page and subscribe to my podcast. You can get it on all the podcasts. You get a Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Pandora. The list goes on and on and on. Go to anthonypazzialo.com. But let's talk things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the NBA. And unfortunately, we have to talk about pizza again. There's devastating news about pizza. And we have to talk about it because it's complete garbage. I'm devastated, and you should be too. But first, let's talk about what's going on with the NBA. So as of right this second, the NBA has canceled or postponed today's games. What happened is the Bucks decided that they weren't going to play. They were going to boycott, which is not even a boycott. I don't want to get into the semantics of what it should be called, but when you boycott, it's you don't buy something, right? So, like, for example, England puts a tax on the tea. Well, I'm going to boycott English tea. I'm not going to buy it. So they're not boycotting. They're not like, if they were boycotting the NBA, right, then they wouldn't be buying tickets to go to the NBA. They would. Do you understand? They're not fucking boycotting something. They're not boycotting the NBA. They're protesting against social injustice. They're protesting against about what happened to the Jacob Blake in Wisconsin. It's not a boycott, but fuck it. They're calling it a boycott, so we'll call it a boycott. So the NBA, the players, they decided, the Bucks decided they weren't going to play. Then the NBA got ahead of it. The NBA got ahead of it, and they said, "Hey, we're just going to cancel all the games today." Why do they? There's so much to dissect here, but I just wanted to let you know, at this moment, there's no playoff games being played by the NBA today. The NBA has officially postponed the games, so there is no real boycott going on. Okay, but let's dig into this BS. First off, enough is enough. You play sports. Play sports. I don't need political commentary from the NBA, from the NBA, MLB, NFL, boxing, UFC. Play sports. Play sports. You get paid to play sports. Play sports. I don't want to hear your political opinions. I don't want to see you kneel during the national anthem, and I don't want you to go out and not play because there's other shit going on in the world right now. Bro, we all got spilt milk and we all got to go to work. Every single one of us. You don't think I went to work today? I went to work. I loaded trucks, 4,000 pounds, bro. I threw that right on the back of the truck. I didn't go to the guy who was like, nah, I'm boycotting. And then the guy look at me and be like, what? What do you mean you're boycotting, bro? You're not going to buy something? I'm like, no, I'm not working. Are you boycotting your own company? No, I'm protesting. It's a fucking protest. Drives me nuts. Not a boycott. But anyways, I got to get past that because it's going to drive me bonkers. But anyways, I go to work. You're all working. Some of you anyways. Some of you guys are going to get an extra $300 a week from Massachusetts or from the government, but that's kicking in the next few days. But here's where it needs to stop. Sports need to get back to playing sports. Play sports. That's what you do. America needs that. This country needs you guys to play sports. We've got nothing right now. Nothing. All the news and everything that happens all day long of moron looters, moron rioters, bunch of idiots in the news. We need a distraction. We need sports. And when we're watching our sports, we do not want our sports to be delayed because you want to have a boycott, because you want to protest. No, that's it. You get paid millions of dollars to play the game. I get paid no money. But I don't get millions of dollars. I get 0 millions. 0 millions coming my way, and I go to work. I'm working right now. This is my podcast. I don't get paid to do this. This is work. I don't boycott my fans. I'm here for you guys. No boycott. No protest. It's not a boycott. No protest. I show up. I care about my fans. I care about the people that listen to the program. This might be a distraction for you for the day. I don't know. I can tell you this. If you keep protesting and keep making sports political, we're going to find something else to watch. The NBA's ratings are already in the tank because they allow their players to kneel during the national anthem. We're going to find out what happens with the NFL when they allow people to kneel. I'm hazarding to guess that their ratings will tank. People love America, and they don't want to watch sports that don't love this country. They want to watch sports to be entertained. They don't want to watch sports to be reminded that there are people being fucking killed every day in the streets. They don't want that shit. Get out there, throw the ball, swish it in the net, and play for a championship. No need for politics in sports anymore. That's it. If you would like to be political, and if you would like to protest, bro, do it on your own time. When practice is over, you want to go picket, go ahead. When the game is over and during the press conference, you want to make don't even do it in the press conference, bro. You know what? When the game's over, head out to the parking lot, get your ass a sign that says Black Lives Matter or, hands up, don't shoot. and fucking protest. We don't need this shit. Next beef. Here's my next beef. They better not get paid. I want to make this clear. Here's something very important that I have to talk about. As you guys know, I'm having a beverage. My wife and kids are gone, but my happiness was sucked away from me by the NBA. My happiness was pulled from the rug was pulled from under my feet because more moronic athletes decided they want to get involved when they should just play sports. That's bro. I load a truck, so I just load trucks. That's what I do all day. I put stuff on the back of a truck all day long, and I don't boycott and I don't protest. I work. Now, here's something very important. You all know that I do not support kneeling during the national anthem. I don't at all. But I had a lot of respect for what Colin Kaepernick did, not for kneeling, so just chill. And let me get my damn point out before you get all over me. He gave up his career, which listen, he wasn't going to be a starter again, but he could have been a backup quarterback for many years, and backup quarterbacks make about $1 million a year, $2 million a year. You make a lot of money being a backup. He gave up $1 million, $2 million a year. How long has it been now? He's probably given up like 10, 15 million for something he believed in. That is a true protest. That is a true boycott, if that's what you want to call it. That's true. He gave up something so important. He gave up something, he gave it all up for something he believed in. Why am I bringing up this point? Because I don't support what he did. I want that to be clear. But I respect the fact that he put everything on the line for what he believed in. Now, the NBA players are so righteous. They want to boycott something. I don't know what the fuck they're boycotting. They don't want to play. They're not playing so they can bring awareness to something. That makes more sense. They're not playing so they can protest something. That makes sense. I didn't realize they were not buying something. Boycott means like they're going to boycott you. See, I'm not going to be able to move on from this. They shouldn't get paid. If the players get paid for tonight, then the boycott means nothing. It's hollow. It's empty. It's garbage. If you truly care and you're truly upset about what happened, you will protest, and your owner, your boss, won't pay you. If you don't play, you don't get paid. You don't get to protest and boycott and then still get a benefit from it. It's like saying, I'm going to boycott pizza. I'm not going to eat pizza anymore. I boycott it. Fuck that. And then I go and eat a slice of pizza. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? It's fake. It's hollow. It's meaningless. When you protest, when you boycott, but you don't actually give something up, then it means nothing. You didn't put anything on the line. Kaepernick did. He put his whole career on the line. He blew up his life. And he lost. He lost big. If they don't play, they don't get paid. No pay, no money. If I'm your boss, if I'm the owner, if I'm an NBA owner, and there's so many moving parts to this. It's absolutely disgusting that these guys want to bring politics into sports and then they decide they're not going to play. They're going to walk off. So they shouldn't get paid. They should not get paid. And everybody say, oh, they don't get paid for the playoffs. Yes, they do. They make about they don't get their regular salary, but they make about $11,000 a game. Way more than what you're going to make in one day. Anybody here making $11,000 a day? Any of yous? Huh? No, didn't think so. So they make way more money, about $11,000 per game in the playoffs. It's a playoff pool that the NBA pays for as a part of their collective bargaining agreement. They make about $11,000 a game. Listen, they shouldn't get the money. No money, no play, no pay. That makes it a real protest. That makes it meaningful. So if these guys get their money, then it's garbage. It meant nothing. It meant, I'm a whiny ass bitch and I don't want to work today, but I still got paid. Do you understand? Now, that's one part of the problem. One part of the problem is that the players, if they truly gave a shit, they would take some of their money because they've got millions, hundreds of millions, and they donate it to something to further the cause, or they give money to further that cause. My point that I'm trying to get at is people care until they got to give up money. People care until they have to give up money. Nobody cares enough. It's like when you're at the Wendy's, right? You go to Wendy's and you get up, you order something. I always go to Wendy's. My son loves chicken nuggets. He likes, I think it's the number 9, right? It's 10-piece chicken nugget, fry, and a Sprite. And then they're always like, oh, would you like to donate to, they might ask me, what they should do is ask me, say, hey, man, you think cancer's bad? I'd be like, yeah, cancer's bad. Yep. Awful. It's terrible. And then they'll say, oh, by the way, would you like to donate $1 to cancer research? No, I don't care that much. That's what these people are saying. They don't care enough to give up money. So once they stop getting paid, trust me, they will stop playing. These dudes, they got child support, they got drug habits, they got alcohol habits, they got party lifestyles, they got mortgages they can't afford. They will be working in a heartbeat, but the owners have to grow a set of balls, and they won't, because owners now are hand-strapped. Owners are pussies now. They won't come out and say anything. If I were an owner of an NBA team and they didn't play tonight, I'd be the first one on Fox News tonight, and I'd condemn it. I'd say, yeah, you don't want to work, you're all fucking fired. All of you. I'd fire them all, and I'd have cause. And I'd have cause not to pay them their guaranteed contracts, because in the NBA, pretty sure it's all guaranteed, but I'd have cause not to. I'd say, well, you didn't work today. And in my contract, if you breach my contract, you don't get paid, you didn't work, you're fucking fired. I will go find some other guys that don't want to be political and that will play. Simple. It's a game. Get out there, entertain. That's what you're here to do. You're here to entertain us. You make millions of dollars to make us forget about the spilt milk of the day. Entertain us. If I were an owner, that's exactly what I would do. I would say, yeah, you guys are playing. And if you don't play, you're gone. See you later. I'd remind the NBA player, I'd say, hey, by the way, the NBA will still be here when you're not. Just letting you know. Did you know that we actually still play games and Michael Jordan is not around? He don't play anymore. Did you know that Kobe Bryant's dead and the NBA still exists? Why is that? Why is that? Oh, because we don't fucking need you. We will find somebody else to play. We'll find other guys that will play that won't be political and that understand that this is a medium for entertainment for our fans. And then I would remind them and I'd say, oh, by the way, I make money a couple of ways. By putting people in the seats, right? But I can't do that right now. I can't put people in the stands because of COVID. But I make money off of TV deals. I get a piece of that $1 billion TV deal. And when you guys don't play games, I don't get paid. I don't get paid. I don't get the advertising dollars. So if I don't get paid, you don't get paid. And then I would say, so now how do you feel about your protest? How you feeling now? Watch how fast they don't give an F. It's baseless. If they take money for not playing, it's baseless. It's cowardice. It's not a real protest. A real protest or a real boycott takes nuts, and you have to give something up. You got to put yourself on the line. You really, really have to care. They don't care enough. If they don't they don't play, they don't get paid. If they still get paid, it's a slap in the face. Think about that. I want you to think about, let's hear it here. And say you're a union guy, right? You're a union guy, and you decide that you guys aren't working because you want to fight for fair wages. Bro, you don't get paid when you're doing that. You picket and don't get paid because you're trying to prove to the owners or of the company that you should be paid more. So you don't get paid. You put your life on hold. You put yourself in a crunch. That is a true protest. So there's a couple pieces there. First off, right from the get-go, sports needs to get back to being sports. Let's just play sports and leave the political garbage to other people, or leave it for your free time. But get out there and play. It's not that hard. If I can load trucks all day while there are bad things happening, you can surely show up and play a game and entertain people to help them forget. If anything, you could have played the game in honor of. You could have said, we're going to play tonight and we're going to entertain America in honor or in support of making sure that social injustice doesn't happen anymore. You get what I'm trying to say here? It's so sick and tired of it, man. I'm just tired of it. It's boring. It's garbage. sick and tired of every time I put on a fucking game, it's political. When I work out, I don't want to hear about politics. I want to hear someone motivating me. When I'm watching the NBA, I want to watch the NBA. I don't want to hear, oh, there's gonna be no NBA today because the players gotta stick up their ass about something that's happening. Bro, I gotta stick up my ass about everything. Mad GERD, I do. I got mad GERD tonight. And I'm not even trying to be pissed off today because my wife and kids are gone. I'm trying to relax and have a good time. But we can't have a good time because everything is political now. Everything. Everything is a protest. Literally everything. Like you go to the supermarket and it's like, hey, I want to get Red Cap milk. And people look at me like, you drink Red Cap milk? Oh, did you know that's like 100%? Yeah, bro, it's the best milk on the planet. Red Cap milk is the only milk that matters. Get the fuck away from me. I'm food shopping, bro. Just play NHL, play hockey, NFL, play football, NBA, play basketball, MLB. I don't care about baseball, so go fuck yourself. I could care less. I hope you guys boycott. Garbage. I hate baseball. Soccer, whatever it is, just play. We don't need this crap anymore. We don't need your help. They don't need your help, man. It's absolute ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's enough. And that's it. And plain and simple, I'll say it one more time and then we're going to move on. If they get paid for not playing tonight, then it means nothing. I want the people who care about this movement to understand that these guys in the playoffs, they make about $11,000 a game. It's not as much as they would normally make, but this money goes into a playoff pool. So every game that they play, they make about $11,000. If they get that money, it's baseless. But they're going, you know what's going to happen? Actually, they're going to get the money because the NBA got ahead of it. Here's the second part. The NBA got ahead of it and they canceled today's games. They postponed them. They said, shit. They were smart enough to realize that, well, we better, one, postpone the games because if we don't and they don't play, we're not going to be able to get the ad dollars. So we have to replay these games so that we can make sure we get the ad dollars from the TV. So that's one. Number two, they don't want to be stuck in that spot where it's like, oh, shit, they boycotted. They didn't play the games. Do we pay them or do we not pay them? So they're still going to get paid because they're going to play the game at a later date. But if the players, so there's the next point. If the players really care, they'll boycott the next game. And it's not a boycott. I'm so sick of it. They'll protest the next game. They'll protest the next game. So they have to, the NBA just pushed the schedule back. So the same games are going to be played in a couple of days. Well, if the players care, they won't play. Hear me out here. They won't play. They'll be done. They won't play until the NBA skips it. Get what I'm saying? Make it count. What the NBA should do is just say, all right, fuck it. You both lose. So now they're all game fives, I think, right? There are a bunch of game fives. Well, now they're all game sevens. Everybody gets a loss. It's a game seven now, right? Does that make sense? If it's a game five, one team's got to be three. One team. No, you can't. You can't, right? If it's a game five, one team can't be a three. Yeah, so it's either 2-2 or it's 3-1, something like that. So you give each team a loss, boom, move on to game seven. But then the NBA has to give up that money for not playing that game. That's revenue lost. They don't want to do that. The owners don't want to do that. Right now, the owners are sitting back and they're like, all right, everybody relax. We're just going to push the games back. The players are being babies. Let them bitch. Let them feel like they have some kind of say in what actually happens in the world, other than the fact that they should just be playing and entertaining people because that's why we fucking pay them. And they should get out there and do this. And if they want to be political, they can do it on their own time. But for now, we're going to put a pause. Now, players, I'm going to call you out. If you truly care, you won't play the game. You won't play. They've rescheduled it. Now the ball is in your court, as they say. Let's see how much you really care about this protest. Let's see how much you give a shit about this protest. Let's see how much you truly care. Do you care enough to give up money? Colin Kaepernick cared enough to give up money. I don't like what he did, kneeling for the flag or kneeling for the anthem. I'm not for that, but he gave up money. He gave up his career. Now, like I said, he wasn't going to be a starter again, but he could have had a nice cushy ass job as a backup quarterback for many years, but he didn't. They bounced his ass from the league for what he believed in. Well, let's see what you believe in. The game's been moved. Will you do it again? Will you protest again? Will you not play? Will you give up that 11 grand for the game? That's how you know if it's truly a basis or if it's hollow or if it's for real. Other than that, I would say just fucking play sports. Play sports. Get back to playing sports. I don't want to deal with this crap before the NFL comes. I'm so glad that all this stuff is being hashed out now so that the NFL could sit back and say, all right, people are really pissed if you kneel for the flag. They're really pissed if you don't play the games. They get really pissed. They get to figure it all out so that when they play, they can have a superior product, because I want to watch the NFL. I want to see Cam Newton do well and the Patriots do well. I also want to see Tom Brady do well. I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch them talk politics. I don't want to hear that crap. I don't care about it. I care about politics, yes, but not during sports. I've said it 100 times. When I'm working out, I don't want to hear about politics. When I'm fucking jerking off, I don't want to think about politics. When I'm drinking, sure. When I'm doing the podcast, hell yeah. That's what my podcast is about. The topics of the day, we're all about it. Uncle Joe, I don't do drugs. You should know that. All right, that's it. I'm done on the NBA crap. All right, we'll wrap it up with my final word on the NBA is this. It's time for sports to get back to playing sports, and that's it. In America, we need a distraction, and sports is our distraction from everyday life. People who like the NBA get a few hours to forget. People that like Major League Baseball, I don't know who you are, you're a moron, it's terrible, but you get like 10 hours to forget. People that like the NFL, you get 4 hours to forget and to enjoy. We don't want to hear it. So enough, please. And I'm not trying to say what happened to this guy. I'm not for or against what's going on. All I'm saying is when I'm watching my sports, let me watch my sports. I'm a large. Thank you. Soon to be a medium. Someone just asked me if I'm a large or an XL. I'm Peloton, bro. Every single day I'm on like a 14-day streak on the Peloton. Kicked ass. I beat my PB today. Crushed it on the ton. Bro, I cannot comment on what size my wife is. That's like are you trying to fucking get me in trouble? Can you guys believe that another man just asked a man on a public forum what size his wife is? That's like a death trap. Are you guys texting back and forth trying to get me in trouble? I don't fucking know. She's super small. Whatever the smallest size you got. I honestly, Ryan, I don't know. Ask your wife. Ask your wife. I know you're sending t-shirts and I appreciate it, but why don't you ask your wife if it's okay on a public forum to ask another man what size his wife is? Just do it right now and see what she says. I'm not really mad. I'm just saying, like, think about that. My wife's probably listening right now. She's sitting back like going like, dude, you just said your wife's a medium. She doesn't care. All right. I don't know what size my wife is. How about that? I'm a man. I'm gonna back my ass. I'm gonna back my ass up out of that conversation, and I'm just gonna say this. Hey, Spaz, what size your wife? Dude, I don't know. I'm a fucking man. I have no clue. I fucking don't know. Size. I don't even know my own size. You gotta ask my wife on that. Man. Oh, are you kidding me? That's like a man violation. We should have an alert for man violation. Like, you could never, ever, 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 ever put a man in a situation in a public place where he has to answer what size his wife is. My God. Holy moly. The only answer, Uncle Joe knows. Nariam's uncle is on there. The only answer is small. But the truth is, he says, I'm sorry. I'm not really mad. It's all right. Right, guy. I love you. Guys, Ryan owns a landscape company, R&R Landscape Management. It's out in the Clinton area. He also does dumpster rentals if you need dumpsters or house cleanouts and all that stuff. The guy's, he's a hardworking American. He worked his ass off through the whole pandemic, and we're still in the pandemic, and he's still working. He's a hardworking guy, and he's trying to do a good job. He's trying to spread the name of his company to try to get himself a lot of business. So if you live out in the Clinton area, I know a lot of you people live in Tech. And there's actually a ton of people that listen to the show in Texas because they love America. But if you happen to live in Massachusetts and live in that Clinton area, give Rye Guy, a spot. But do me a favor: when you call for a dumpster, ask him how, be like, you say to be like, oh, hey, how big's your wife's dumpster? Something like that. Get them all like fired up. Ooh, potty rental's coming soon. All right. He's going to be offering blow-up dolls. I think that's what he meant. I don't really know. All right, moving on. Awful news. And this is near and dear to my heart, and I'm not going to get into a mad, long-winded conversation about this because we talk about pizza ridiculously on this program. Pizza is one of my favorite foods, if not my most favorite food. It depends on where I am in my life. If I'm in that mode of working out, eggs are my favorite food. If I'm not, pizza's my favorite food. But to be sure, pizza and eggs, my number one foods. Cheese pizza is the only pizza that I eat. Everybody knows on this program that listens to America's podcast that the only type of pizza I eat is cheese pizza. And it's the only pizza that matters. And we could get into real deep conversation as to why that is. But just to put it plain and simple, two reasons. First, it's economical. That's one of the reasons. There's no reason to spend $2-3 more to add toppings to an already perfect pizza. Cheese is the best. It just makes practical sense. Second thing is, it's just cheese pizza is the most American thing I can think of, right up there with apple pie. I love cheese pizza, and it's the only pizza that matters, and it's simple. And then you guys all know the rule. Don't ask me for a slice of my cheese pizza. If you didn't order cheese pizza, you've given up your right to cheese pizza. I could literally go on and on and on and on and on. The reason that I'm bringing up the pizza is because there is a story in the news. There is a news story that came out today about pizza, and I thought that I would bring it up because it's pissing me off. But apparently, cheese pizza is like the least favorite pizza in America. Apparently, pepperoni pizza is the number one pizza. Almost 40% of Americans prefer pepperoni pizza. Next is sausage. Then it's like peppers and onions. Then it's like it was sausage, pepper and onions, bacon, meat lovers, fucking pineapple and a Hawaiian, I guess you would call it. And cheese pizza is only 8%. It's only 8%. I can't even fathom why people like pepperoni pizza. I just want you, pepperoni pizza tastes like shit. It's greasy. It's nasty. Pepperoni really isn't good. It's good with crackers. That's about it. But pepperoni pizza, awful. It's terrible. I don't like it. Nobody wants it. But I wanted to share that with you guys because you know how much I care about pizza. So there you have it. A little tidbit in the news that I guess I'm wrong. Apparently, cheese pizza isn't America's pizza. Apparently, pepperoni pizza is America's pizza, but it tastes like garbage. So if you want to order pepperoni pizza, go ahead. It's going to cost you twice as much because a pound of pepperoni is now like $4.12. Used to be $2.12. But I just wanted to get that in there. Bouncing off from that. Last topic of the night is something that really fucking has me pissed off. Woburn, I'm from Woburn, Massachusetts, right? So I talk about the things that I'm related to, that relate to me and that upset me. Woburn has passed or is going to build a new fire department, and they should have done it years ago. Woburn doesn't have a state of the art. Is that what you say? State of the art. Woburn doesn't have a state of the art fire facility. They don't have a firehouse that's top notch. I think the last one that was built like in the 80s. They have one on Main Street that literally look like it's a brick building that's covered in moss and mold, and they should take a rocket launcher to the thing and fucking blow it up. It looks terrible. The resources for these guys are awful. They're terrible. So they've decided finally, I mean, this is like years coming. They finally decide that they're going to build a new firehouse. They're going to build a big ass one too, and it's fantastic. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm happy that they're doing it. But people in Woburn, the tree huggers, the fucking liberals, the donkeys, the pussies, I swear people are just idiots. They're pissed and they're protesting because the spot that Woburn picked was this wooded area. So if you're on Route 38 in Woburn, there's the movie theaters right across the street, and then there's this big ass wooded area. There's like 3 acres of woods, and people are upset. It's one of the last forest type areas in Woburn. No, first off, you couldn't even fucking go in there. It was all fenced off. You couldn't even. No one's probably been in there for years, for thousands of years, bro. I don't think anybody's been in there since the Indians have fucking been here. So people in Woburn are pissed. This is what gets me upset. They're more upset about the trees being cut down than they are about the fact that the fire department doesn't have a fucking top-notch department. They don't have a killer, life-saving 20th century fucking station to protect people, but you care about the trees being cut down. What is wrong with people's priorities when they say, oh, this is terrible? And here's what's even worse is the city, because they know the mayor, he's like, fuck, I'm gonna cut down these trees and I'm gonna build a station here. So they designated another part of Woburn that they're gonna plant trees. So they're gonna take another part of the city, useless piece of the city, which I don't know where there is a useless piece. The only useless piece of the city is the old landfill. I hope they fucking plant the trees there. I hope that's where they should do it. They should go and plant the trees on the old landfill. Let me make it clear to the tree people. Same thing with the monkey people. Cut down all the trees if it's going to make my life better. Cut down the trees immediately if you're going to build a state-of-the-art fire department facility. A facility where guys are going to go, they're going to feel safe, they're going to feel comfortable, they're going to have the right equipment, we're going to have new fire trucks, and our firefighters will have good places. I'll just tell you, go to Route 38, drive about a mile from the movie theater, and you take a look at that fire station. Take a look at that dump, that place. Garbage. But there are people, this is what just gets me nuts. There are people out there that think trees are more important than people. And they'll say, oh, well, you're going to cut the trees down in the ozone. Bro, listen, the fucking ozone isn't going to get burnt out over 3 acres of land in Woburn, Massachusetts. It's not. Sorry. It's not. Cut them all down. See ya. But here's the funny thing. You're the same asshole that will complain about public housing. There's not enough affordable housing. But then you'll cut down the trees. Then you'll be all for it. You'll be like, oh, yeah, let's knock down all the trees. We're going to build affordable housing for the fucking bums and give them free living. But you don't want to build a fire station? You can't knock down some trees to save some lives, but you'll knock down some trees to build a home for some fucking homeless people. Drives me nuts. So kudos to the mayor. The mayor of Woburn takes a lot of shit. He's a Republican. He takes a lot of shit, and he has to deal with the super liberal council. Super duper liberal council. Pain in the ass. It's just indicative, or it's like the hallmark of America now, to care about trees before humans, to care about monkeys before humans, to care about anything. It's like people are now second class. Bro, you're a second class citizen to a fucking tree. Think about that. Someone's gonna go tie themselves to a tree in Woburn so that they can't fill the fire department. But yet, when a fire happens, you'll want the fire department there. So you know how I feel about it. This is plain and simple. If you're one of those people that is bitching about the fact that you're going to get some trees knocked down, well, when a fire happens, they're not coming. You bitched about the fucking department building a station there? Sorry, we can't help you. Oh, hey, yeah, 6 Highland Street? Yeah, there's a fire at my house. Thanks for calling the fire department. Says here that you were one of those people that didn't want the fire department built, so we can't come. Bye. See you later. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with this country anymore. It's really pissing me off. Fucking NBA players in their big ass mouths gotta get involved with politics. Just play ball. And people gotta bitch about trees being ripped down when we're trying to build a fucking fire station to protect lives? Trees over lives? Come on. They should burn them. I hope they burn them. They should just fucking set them on fire. I'm supposed to be relaxing and chilling. My wife and kids, they're gone. They're up north somewhere. They're up in the trees. And I'm trying to have a good time. Hold on, I gotta pour another drink. How are we doing on time, man? All right, we're almost done. It's really disappointing to see where this country is going. The country is going in a direction that people like my father. You know what? I got fucking Uncle Joe. His grandfather, Don. What man? This guy fucking worked right up until the day he passed away. He retired and he fucking worked a pot. He worked a job. Probably one of the best American guys I've ever met in my entire life is my son's great grandfather, Don Smith. He had respect. You could you couldn't fucking. I couldn't even. You hear me swearing? I would never swear in front of this guy. I'd be scared that he'd kick my ass, and he was like 90. He was like 89 years old. He was a man's man. When he shook your hand, he had a grip like a you were like, oh, this guy means business. Simple, plain and simple. You sat down, you had dinner, no hats at the dinner table. You had dinner, you had dinner at the table. And this dude was like, we're gonna have meat, we're gonna have a starch, we're gonna have sides. I mean, he was like straight up American and a hard-working, hard-nosed guy that would never put up with this bullshit. He would never stand for any of this crap. This country doesn't have people like him anymore. This country doesn't have people like my dad anymore. It's terrible. And it's up to us to try to push it along. But when we push it along, we get looked at as bad. Like I try to teach my kid to be a hard-nosed kid. He'll go to school and be like, oh, my dad's so mean. And then they'll come to my house and be like, why are you so mean to your son? And I just look at you and I'll say, you got any fucking kids? No? Get out of my house then. Literally. It's awful what's happening with the United States. And that's a perfect example of it, where Woburn has got the budget. Finally, they got the money. They have a mayor that's going to build this department to better the Woburn fire, whatever you call them, the fire protection, the fire people, firemen, whatever the fuck you call it. And people care about the trees. Bro, there's a whole wooded area over at Horn Pond in Woburn. Man. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. I'm out, man. I'm out. I gotta bounce on this, man. It's really, you know what? Let me pour a drink and then I'll bounce. Let's have a drink together. It's just everybody has excuses and everybody's got a problem. Trees over humans. Just think of that comment. Trees over humans. Trees over the fire department. And there's people that actually think that, and they believe it, and they wholeheartedly believe that we need wooded areas. That's exactly what they described as. Well, we need wooded areas in Woburn. The fuck do you need wooded areas for over a fire department? Actually, I think Don was a fireman. Don Smith, that's my kid's great-grandfather's Uncle Joey's grandfather. Guarantee you. If I said to him and say, hey, Don, we're gonna chop down 3 acres of land to build a fire department. How do you feel about it? He'd be like, yeah, let's do it. He'd chop them down himself. But then if I was like, oh, hey, Don, we can't build a fire department because you got a bunch of tree-hugging kids out there. My son, probably one of them. Now I am out there. He's hugging onto a tree. Never happened. All right, guys. Listen, thank you so much for listening to Spaz'n. That's it, man. I'm out. I got to go relax. My family's not here. I want to relax. Here's to wrap it up. Sports, pouring a bevy here. If sports could get back to doing sports, that would be fantastic. And if people would stop being such bitches and stop caring about the monkeys and stop caring about the trees, because we're trading the trees for a fire department and we're trading the monkeys for the cure for cancer. Do you see why it's more important to do that? We don't have people anymore in this country that care about humans. They care more about other stuff. Thank you so much for listening tonight. I really appreciate it. You guys all have a good night. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We do it 5 nights a week. We're on Facebook. We're not on TikTok anymore because we got bounced. We're on YouTube and Twitter when we do the live stream. And then, of course, you could just listen to the podcast, Spazzing Out, America's podcast. It's your podcast. Thank you for listening. All right. Bye, YouTube. Facebook guys, take it easy. Joe, I'll talk to you later, buddy. Your grandfather really was a special man. He's a fucking man's man. Later. Gonna do this. That's right, we're live. We're gonna get the podcast going in just a second. I need to get